brand new Pope, but the same old morning wager. Mark Zinno and myself holding it down. Oh, are we getting the blessing there?
The new Pope, if we pray, will he get us some wins?
If we pray, we got to make it today, or so, as MC Hammer once said.
Yes.
You got to pray just to make it today is actually what Hammer was he still MC at that point, or was it just Hammer? I can't remember.
Yeah. He was also too legit to quit. Remember that?
He was. It's Hammer time. I'm pulling out the stick. That's Rick Ross right there.
Oh,
but, made a song called MC Hammer. That song.
You can't touch any of it. So let's move on.
Okay. Well, I'm actually in a better mood today, Zinno.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's supposed to say Pope, not Pop.
I was going to say, was Zinno was the Pop? I said, am I missing a joke here? Yes. That is your.
We actually did do well on the double play yesterday.
We did. Well, the double play has been going pretty good, save for 2 days ago.
Well,
but we
don't know why. Our best bets keep being in the NBA. So we're going to change it up today.
All right. Let me set the table here. Okay. Yes. I'm in a good mood. I went 2-0 for the clients yesterday, including, as heard on the morning wager, the over in the Phillies and Rays. That hit for me. Thank you to anyone who was on board. Those of you who dared to still be on board after that 5% loss we had in the NBA. And yes, as Mark has alluded to, guys, our NBA on the show has simply not been up to snuff. So we are changing.
Say we sucked.
That's a different way to put it. So we're changing up the. What's that?
Can I add? I didn't take a loss because I passed.
You passed on Thursday. So there you go. But we're changing up the format just a little bit on Friday. Still getting 3 free plays, but they're all in Major League Baseball. Zinno and I will touch on the 2 NBA playoff games, but no official plays because the best bet has not been up to par. So we're changing things up a little bit. Plus, we liked a lot of the baseball.
Yes. We have new prayers and new wins, hopefully.
That's your religion too, isn't it?
Right? By the way,
aren't you a good Catholic boy?
Yes, I am very much. Well, I don't know if I'm a good one. I'm riddled with guilt, and it comes along with it, and I try to dispel it every single day. And I'll remind everybody, especially to the people in the comment section, guys, we're bad. If you don't like our show, don't watch. If you think our picks stink, don't watch. Just don't watch. What I don't need is
running people off.
I don't care. Just like you know what I don't. You know what I'm not. You know what I'm not. One of those people who sits online and complains about things and people online because I have a life and I have things to do. So
and you call me and complain about things is what.
Well, that's different. You're my friend. I mean, I bitch to you about everything. That's what friends do. You know. Yes, I have to shut up. Okay. I'll still never understand it. Go somewhere else. Watch other shows. Watch other betting people. There are plenty out there. Go bother them. I don't need.
I'm going to complain about something in a little bit, but we've done enough talking. Let's get to the picks here. Mark Zinno.
You know, it worked yesterday when you went first with the double play. So maybe we should stay there.
All right, Dan, I'm going first. I am going first. So be ready. The second play in the rundown is actually going to be up first.
Yes.
I am going to talk about the over in Yankees Athletics. Now, Mark Zinno, when you're betting the over, you want several factors present. We know about this park, right? This minor league park that the A's are playing in Sacramento. At least for the visitors, okay, they've been scoring. The A's haven't really taken full advantage of the ballpark, but the visiting teams have. A's third worst in Major League Baseball. They allow over 6 runs per game at home this year. The only 2 teams allowing more at home are Baltimore and, of course, Colorado. Now, we talk all the time, at least I do, about this Yankees lineup being a, quote, feast or famine. Needless to say, I think it's going to be more feast on Friday. They are number 2 in runs per game overall, after all. So you would think in this environment, they are likely to score runs. And then what I really like, people are saying, my goodness, this is a pretty high number at 10. Well, allow me to inform you who our 2 starting pitchers are. Will Warren and Osvaldo Bido. They both stink. They're both really bad. And Bito's worse than Will Warren. Over 10. Yankees A's. That is my half of the double play.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Will Warren's terrible. I mean, and the only thing I told you is the A's score less at home than they do on the road.
But they give up a lot more.
Yes, but they give up a lot more. And it's Will Warren, so they might be able to score off him because he's bad.
He is. You hate Will Warren.
And I hate your feast or famine argument. It's really annoying.
I'm going to keep saying it all season. It's great that it's only May, and I've got to October to just run that into the ground.
Yeah, because every time the Yankees score 12 runs like they did against the Padres and then only score 2 the next night, you're going to be feast or famine, feast or famine, feast or famine. Yeah.
Just to put some more numbers to what we've been saying here. Will Warren, 5.49 ERA his last 5 starts. Osvaldo Bido, 5.47. So a very even matchup of 2 bad starting pitchers.
What do you keep looking at over there?
My screen. I have the stats over there for some reason. I got 2 screens up. It's not, I guess, the professional way to just look over there, but I did it anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, no one would ever.
You're sitting on a couch.
No one would ever accuse you of being a professional. So there is that.
I turned in a very professional effort with Carmine Bianco, my good friend. First video I ever did was with Carmine here on WagerTalk TV, the old stoppage time show. We previewed the Champions League final between Inter and PSG.
Hey, comment below if you think stoppage time as a concept is stupid. Just stop the clock, blow a whistle, and then pick it up. Okay. Stop the clock. No. Yeah. When the ball goes out of bounds, blow a whistle, stop the clock. And then when it comes back in, start the clock again. We don't have to have this phantom. We're just randomly guessing a number for 4 extra minutes.
No, they keep track.
But then just stop the clock. And you don't have to do anything. It goes out of bounds. When he throws it back in, just start the clock again.
We're not going to do that. Okay.
That's why you're sports.
No, I like it. I actually, again, it's my safe space. I always think to myself, Mark Zinno, he's not, it's stoppage time. I'm getting nervous. Oh, but Mark Zinno's not calling me. This is so nice. Anyway, Mark Zinno, a bet that I don't make, I bet soccer quite often, but a bet I don't make very often is laying the 1.5 on the run line in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
However, you have brought a situation here to my attention on Friday where I absolutely would lay the 1.5.
Moreover, you don't like to lay 1.5 for the home team, but that's not what we're doing here.
Generally it's the home team. The road team, okay, you can talk me into it. And boy, have you talked me into this one for your half double play. Padres at the Rockies.
Yes.
In case if you have been in a coma for the last month, not only do we have a new pope, but the Colorado Rockies are doing things, quite frankly, that not even Abner Doubleday could have envisioned when he invented the sport of baseball over 100 years ago.
Yeah, I think their Little League game's more competitive than the Colorado Rockies. And I watch a lot of Little League. That said, situationally, this sets up really well, regardless of who the starting pitchers are. Because the Padres had Thursday off. The Rockies had to play a doubleheader. So the Rockies bullpen is going to be plenty exhausted and overused because of the bullpen. And they are going to have a tough turnaround here where the Padres traveled on Wednesday, had a day in Colorado to get acclimated to the altitude and everything else. And now they're ready to go. Starting pitcher for the Rockies is the icing on the cake for this one. His name is Antonio Senzatella. His other name is Antonio Succatella because he sucks. 1-5 with a 5.50 ERA and a 1.86 WHIP. Senzatella has given up 57 hits in 34 1/3 innings and 8 home runs this year so far. Those are not good numbers. Those are what you would call really bad. And his 8 home runs, 5 of them have come at Coors Field, where opposing batters are hitting 333, and his home ERA is 7.63. There might be a little consternation depending on where you look on who the starter for the Padre is, whether it's Velasquez or Vazquez. Just when you make the bet, pick home pitcher must start, because I don't really care who starts for the Padres at this point. The Rockies don't score a lot at home. They only average 4.2 runs per game at home, which is not a lot for Coors Field, comparatively speaking to their opponents. And the Padres bats obviously are one of the best ones in the league. Jackson Merrill now back for San Diego, which really is, a big part of their lineup. So all this put together here, we're going to lay the 1.5 with the Padres in Colorado against the Rockies, who are coming off the doubleheader.
Earlier in the show, I mentioned that the Rockies are one of the 2 teams that allow more runs per game at home than the Athletics. Just to put a number on that, Zinno, 6.56 runs per game they allow at home. And actually, time out here, that number has gone up because you mentioned they played a doubleheader today. That number does include them getting outscored 21-3 in said doubleheader by the Tigers. The Colorado Rockies are very bad. This is an abhorrent baseball team. I don't know what to say. This could be the worst baseball team of all time. They would be an underdog in neutral field to the 2024 White Sox.
Yeah,
this is an atrocious baseball team. I don't know what to say.
I mean, you have to wonder about like the fans in Colorado and like what the team is actually doing. I mean, the A's may be cheap as all high hell.
Yeah,
they're competitive every year, so it's possible to be competitive.
Yes, it is.
Not money. I mean, you just have to do it right. But it almost looks like they're trying to, it's like Rachel Phelps is managing the team.
They're incompetent.
Did you get my Rachel Phelps reference there?
No, I didn't. I went through
Major League, Rachel Phelps.
Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. I get very focused on the task at hand.
I can't believe you past that.
I actually just watched Major League again
on
the plane.
Guys are movers?
Yeah, I just watched Major League and Wayne's World, as a matter of fact, on my last plane ride. So there you go. Smash that like button if you like the movie Major League. Smash that like button if you think the Colorado Rockies blow. And smash that like button if you think the Yankees and A's are going over. So that is your half of the double play there. Mentioned I swept on Thursday. Maybe it's a sign of a turnaround. Hey, maybe May's looking up after all. WT.buzz/BP is where you go for all of my plays. Of course, I already have a soccer play up for Fridays. I'm dipping my toe into the second tier, Zinno, the championship. The promotion playoffs are underway. You talk about one of my favorite events. We know the 3 teams that are getting relegated from the Premier League this year. Okay, it's one and done for all 3 of them. Somebody else, but we got to determine that third team to be promoted. Okay. Leeds and Burnley already going back up. One more team will join them. Whoever wins this playoff.
Okay,
playoff.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That's okay.
England soccer.
Why don't you actually just tell me the soccer plays so I can bet them then?
I'll tell you off there. Remind me.
Okay.
Remind me. Is there anything you would like to promote, sir? Do I ask?
I mean, why do you ask stupid questions? Do you do this to piss me off?
Sometimes.
I may pass again tomorrow, so don't take an L. I may be smart about this. I probably won't pass on Friday. I will have a couple of baseball plays up. Lord knows I'm not going to touch the NBA playoffs because.
Well, should we talk about the NBA playoffs just generally? Not part of the. It's not going to be. It is part of the show rundown. No official pick. My Cleveland Cavaliers, needless to say, it is time to the poop or get off the pot. I believe is the old.
Why is Cleveland still favored at this point?
I would take them.
I mean, they were 7-point favorites in each game, 7 or 8 point favorites. Is that what?
They closed 5.5 for game 2 after all the injuries were announced. And you want to do your voice about making sure you know who's playing?
It's true. Yeah, that's
because I think that is key.
When you bet the NBA, make sure you know who's playing. Wait till close to tip off.
Yes. That's
anyway.
And in this case, that mythological person is correct. We do need to make sure who's playing for the Cavs.
I mean,
Donovan Mitchell's not 100% either. So to your point, it's not looking good.
Can I just again say under? Can we get another over? Is it possible we're going to get another over in this series? Are we going to go 3 straight over? Are we going to go 3 games where they score 140 points?
I mean,
points rather.
Indiana had a 15-point first quarter in game 2 and still ended up at 120. The Cavs defensively are not getting it done. That's the thing. You can talk about the injuries.
You go back to Indiana team total, but the number is going to be so much higher because the spread is so much shorter. Right?
Take a look here. I'm turning again, Zinno. I hope that's okay with you.
It bothers me. You shouldn't do that.
Okay. Well, here, I'll bring
beautiful face of yours on camera.
Okay. Let's bring it over here. All right. I'm looking straight ahead. This is incredible. Incredible work. Indiana's team total is currently 113.5.
I mean, God, that feels low.
They've been scoring this postseason.
Yeah, I mean, they've been shooting the damn lights out. That's
and they're at home now too. That's the thing. They're at home.
51% in game 2, and I think they shot 53% in game 1. You and I always, these are the spots where you always go, there's got to be a regression. They got to fall off, even though they are home. I mean, again, does Indiana feel like they're going to be a public dog? What you usually have this information. What are teams down 0-2 going on the road in the NBA postseason.
That is so. I think the only time this happened in the last couple of years was
Happening twice now.
Was 2 years ago. Boston against Miami, the series that the Jimmy Butler explosion.
And they lost game 3.
Yeah, well, and remember, Boston came all the way back to force a game 7 in that series.
Yep. Yeah.
And then that idiot blew a kiss at Jimmy Butler, and then the Heat wound up winning the series still. You're right. So the Heat obviously in the first game won because the Heat went up 3-0 in that series. So I don't know any other. It's pretty rare that a team loses the first 2, and of course now favored. So
is there a world where the Cavs put together a great defensive effort finally and hold them under 113 points?
That they have to with all these injuries.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing too. Like knowing they can't score, they have got to drag possessions out, right? They've got to be able to slow them down, and they've got to play better defense and hope that they get some semblance of regression. Like, think about it. I mean, 46, 47% is a pretty good shooting night altogether. If it's 6% less than what they have, the Pacers aren't getting to 113 on 6% less shooting from where they were at 120. Math tells you that they're not. They're going to miss 6 or 7 more shots easily. So,
yeah, I don't know. You got to wait. I mean, we got to see who's out there for Cleveland. I'll tell you, Ty Jerome was absolutely disgraceful in game 2.
I would look to.
I'm a Ty Jerome believer, but he stunk.
I would look to Indiana's team total under. That's the way I'd go.
Okay. In the other series, Oklahoma City, Denver, some order was restored in game 2, and then some as the Thunder absolutely rolled. They're laying 5 now in Denver.
Yeah, that seems
like thoughts there.
That seems like a lot for them to be laying.
I mean, you know me. You only have a few chances in life to bet a team off a loss by 100 points or whatever Denver lost by.
Yes, I mean this is a spot where you take Denver after getting their ass whooped. I mean,
I think Oklahoma City's a damn fine basketball.
Oklahoma City, OKC and Denver played. I think it was the very first game of the year. Yeah, the season opener. Denver got killed at home. They only shot 35% and then 18% from 3 in that game. In the second matchup that they had in Denver, Denver won the game by 2, 124-122 in regulation. They shot 47% from the field, 42% from 3, and obviously a ton of points were scored. In a game that was really close, I think OKC led. I think the most they led was by 9. I'm looking here. No, they led by 13 at one point. And that was in the third quarter. So Denver came all the way back and beat them. It's possible for Denver. I would lean Denver plus the points. I don't really know anything else here.
My bold projection is Oklahoma City will not score as many points as they did the last game.
That's probably an accurate description of the way to look at things at this point.
Also, I think I would play the under in the game.
Again, I just these totals
at 230 at 233. That's a high number.
Let me get this way. It's all correlated in the sense that, I mean, typically the dog is correlated to the under, but look, if you want to beat Oklahoma City, you got to stop them from scoring 130 points. In fact, you probably have to stop them from scoring 120. And if that's the case, you don't have to score much more than 110 to do so to be able to keep them. So Denver's only chance is to limit their scoring, and it stays under. So I think it's all correlated. If you like Denver, you're going to like the under here. If you like OKC, you're going to like the over.
Yeah, total closed at 229.5 for both games. So there has been adjustment by the odds makers, as you would predict there would be after OKC put up 149 in a 43-point victory.
Reaction.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I kind of like the under.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, those are our thoughts. Do with you will with those.
You can throw them in a trash can if you like.
That's pretty much the smartest thing you can do at this point.
Yeah, with the NBA. All right.
About so many things, they can't blame us for everything being wrong.
Look, I just like the positive comments and move on. All right. Our show best bet, as always, this is a play that Mark and we discuss ahead of time and we agree on. That's the way it works, unlike the double play where we just bring our own opinions to the table. Minnesota Twins just swept a bad Baltimore Orioles team. I had the under in that game. That was a nice winner for me.
Actually got the last one right. I had the Twins money line. Yeah.
Yep. So look, you and I have talked about it many times on the show. We have talked about it many times on the phone. Orioles are bad. Minnesota just swept them. San Francisco, meanwhile, they're rested. So they got a day off. The Giants are probably a better team than Minnesota. We are of the belief that this is the right spot to step in and fade the Twins.
Yeah. Look, I know this starter for the Giants isn't great. Jordan Hicks has got a 6.03 ERA. But a couple of things here about Hicks versus the Minnesota Twins. The Twins have the 6th highest K rate against right-handed pitchers at home this year. So Hicks isn't necessarily a high K rate guy, but 34 strikeouts, 37 innings. He's got some swing and miss stuff out there, which is, the opposite of Chris Paddock, because the Giants have the 3rd highest K rate on the road this year, or 2nd highest K rate, but Paddock is not a high strikeout guy. The other thing, too, here about the Giants, 3rd highest scoring team on the road against righties this year. Much larger sample size than it would be against lefties. So they're only behind the Cubs and the Mets, who are 2 of the highest scoring teams in baseball. So you get a bad pitcher here in Minnesota with a team that can hit right-handed pitching and score against them on the road, against a team in Minnesota that has won 5 straight and 3 of them against a really bad baseball team. The Giants just come off of taking 2 or 3 at the Cubs, which ought to tell you
That's
where
impressive.
they are. Yeah, very impressive. So speaking of feast or famine offense, that's kind of what the Giants are at times a little bit. But still, I'll trust them here in this spot. And, oh, by the way, Paddock tends to give up the long ball a wee bit. He's given up 6 home runs this year. I know 5 of them have been on the road, I think, but still, this is a Giants team that can hit the ball and hit home runs. So we kind of just situationally look at this spot and go, the Twins probably didn't deserve to sweep the Orioles, and we'll take advantage of the fact that the Giants are going to be the benefactor of that.
Yeah, that was a 2-2 game between Baltimore and Minnesota Thursday afternoon. I was like, please, as someone who was holding an under 8 ticket, I'm like, don't let this go into extra innings. What happened was the Twins scored 3 runs then in the bottom of the 8th, so I had to sweat, but it was actually ideal because I'm like, all right, all I need is 3 outs now, and we're over, and that happened there. With so much talk about the starters, I'll add this. The San Francisco Giants have the 3rd best bullpen by ERA in all baseball, so they have a big edge on the back end, if you will. So there
it is.
All right.
Boy, I feel like we did yeoman's work today.
This was it was a more focused show. It was a more informative show. We were just, look, I had lost a 5% play minutes before we went live last night. Of course, we are recording in the evening all week as Mark is on location. I hope you whipping the troops into shape. Am I allowed to ask that question? Or
I don't whip anybody. I don't think we're allowed to whip people anymore. Okay,
well, I mean, it's a figure of speech.
Oh, well.
Are you having the march?
Walk around with a whip and beat people, I would.
It's frightening.
Indiana Jones did it.
Snakes.
So.
Indy, cover your heart. Cover your heart.
God help us all. All right. Mark Zinno not whipping anyone around.
That was the same guy from the Goonies. That was the same kid from the Goonies.
Lord knows if he was whipping. Yes.
That's what I said. I said booty traps.
Temple of Doom was the weak one. All right. Anyway, I'm the weak one here. We all know that.
Empire Strikes Back was the weak one. Return of the Jedi and Star Wars were superior. It's always the middle one.
Yes. Yes, it always is.
I mean, it's kind of like Back to the
sophomore slump, they call it, right? It's true in music too. A lot of groups, you have a lifetime to make that first album, and then you have a year to make the second one. Anyway, that's a different show, different topic for a different day. This was the Morning Wager. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, Mark Zinno, don't whip anybody.
Have a good weekend.